grounded in his or her own values. And those values are good, and those values are right. And that's the end of it. That's the bottom line. That this person is grounded internally by their own values, and whatever opinions are out there about this person don't matter, because there is a path that this person is walking, and no one is going to take them off this path. This does not mean that this person is a monster or an asshole, and also it doesn't mean that they're self-sacrificing themselves and suffering needlessly in order to appease others. So it's really the perfect path to take, this middle path. And this is the path that you're going to have to take if you want to create an extraordinary life, the kind of life where you're doing big things. So we already talked a little bit about why empathy is bad. The other thing that I'll add on top of that is just to simply say that it's not a sustainable strategy. You think that you're doing the greatest good, but actually you're not doing the greatest good when you're denying your own nature, when you're denying your own agenda, when you're denying your own values. This really comes down to an issue of values. Because a person who's a people pleaser, the core problem with this is that when you're people pleasing all the time, then your own values and your own dreams, those get put off to the side. And when that happens, you're not working towards them. You can't. You're also not working on yourself. You're not able to do the personal development that's necessary in order to empower you to create those dreams. And for most people, those dreams could actually be the way that they help the world, the way that they help their family, the way they help their friends. But you're not able to do that because you're not honoring your own agenda, because what you're doing is you're constantly concerned about what other people are thinking about you. You're constantly sacrificing your own agenda for others, for the sake of others who impose themselves on you, but you never have the courage to impose yourself on them, and really you don't even want that because you judge that as being bad. So this whole strategy, you have to start to understand that this is garbage. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And you've been doing it your whole life. You see that it doesn't work, right? You're not accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish when you're doing this because you're too dependent on the opinions of others. Here's a paradigm shift. Here's something that could really change your thinking about this situation. An opinion, right? What somebody is thinking about you. What is that? What is it? It's a thought. It's this thought in somebody else's head. So literally ask yourself, this thought, which is, you could say, a figment of somebody else's imagination, that you're letting a figment of somebody else's imagination control your life. Think about that. When you put it starkly like this, it sounds pretty ridiculous. It's ludicrous that you would do this. That a figment out there, and it could be a figment, it's one thing to be influenced by the figment of the imagination of, for example, somebody that you really respect, or somebody that's really important to you, like maybe a spouse, or a father or mother. But most people, they don't even do it this way. What they do is they're really concerned about the figments of imagination that are in a complete stranger's mind. A complete stranger's mind. So maybe it's a customer that you interact with once a year and you're concerned about him. Or maybe it's you speaking in front of a group of people giving a presentation. You don't even know half the people in that audience, but you're so concerned about what they think about you, what they think about how you dress, how you speak, how your face looks, how your body looks, how much weight you have, how good they think your speaking is, how good they think your material is, right? Or you're on a date and you're so worried that this person that you've only known for a couple of days is sitting there and judging you, or what they think about you, what's going on in their mind. You're letting this dictate how your life progresses. Can you realize that, how ridiculous that is? It's really a travesty to allow this to happen, because what you're doing is you're taking all the responsibility that you have to direct your own life, to make yourself happy and fulfilled in life, and you're just giving that away to somebody, to a random critic, a random stranger in some random crowd, or maybe even a close friend of yours, or a boss or a colleague. No one should have that kind of power over you but yourself. So what's the solution here? You need to start getting grounded in your own values, what you think is right, what you think you should be doing. Right? Getting grounded in that, and then just going along and really not caring about the opinions of other people. Either bad ones, which are critical opinions, or good ones, which is praise. Both of those you shouldn't really care about, because somebody who's grounded in their own values, who knows what they want out of life, who knows what they stand for in life, who knows what's going to fulfill them and what won't, right? Who knows what's right and what's wrong for them? Who knows that? Do they need somebody to tell them, yes, you're doing a good job? No, you shouldn't be doing that. Yes, I like how you dress or how you look. No, I don't like your work. I don't like your art. I don't like this thing that you said here. Are they going to be concerned about any of those things? I mean, when you really know what you want, don't you just go for it? You just go straight for it. And that's a powerful way to live life. That's how you create a powerful life. That's how you be a creator. Because if you've got all these people on the sidelines giving you their opinions and their critiques and their little snide remarks and their little praises and compliments, and you're always constantly distracted looking one way and the other, how are you going to move forward? How are you going to build out that grand vision that you have for your life? It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And every single one of those people, they have their own agendas. They have their own values. They don't know your vision. They don't know your dreams. They don't know what you want to do in life. They don't know what's right and what's wrong for you. They don't have your values. So they're in charge of enforcing their values. You should be in charge of enforcing your own. Don't be the one that's left out without any values. You need to enforce your own. One objection that might come up about this point is that you might say something like, but Leo, what about feedback? Don't I need feedback? I mean, if I'm doing this work, if I'm making this art, if I'm making this music, if I'm doing something in a relationship, if I'm doing something for a customer or a client, don't I need to know if it's good or if it's bad or if it's right or if it's not? What if I'm building a business? Don't I need to know if it's going to be profitable, if it's going to be successful? Feedback is important there, right? Well, the thing here is that you're really worried that you won't make it on your own. You're really worried that you don't have your own guidance system. And that's what we need to install in you, is your own guidance system. Because if you have your own values by which to guide yourself, then you can take feedback. There's no reason why you can't listen to people telling you things. It can be a good source of information. But the problem isn't feedback. The problem with you is a lot more emotional. It's a lot more irrational, very neurotic. You're not really looking for feedback. What you're looking for is validation and approval. And you're really trying to stay away from criticism or anything negative, because you just want to build up that self-image that you've got, right? You want to preserve that self-image, that beautiful self-image of your ideal self. If you could just have that validated by everybody out there and nobody contradicted it, everything would be perfect. Right? That's how you're thinking. That's not feedback. That's like egomania happening there. Very subtle egomania. Be careful about your ego telling you that you're selfless, because actually when your ego is telling you that you're selfless, that's usually when you're being the most selfish. So really watch out for that. You might also object and say, well, if I don't get proper feedback, then I'm going to get off course. I'm going to get off course. You might say, Leo, these people in my life, they keep me on course. They keep me knowing that I'm doing the right thing. Otherwise, maybe I'm doing something wrong and I won't even realize it. What if my guidance system breaks? Well, sometimes it's good to have people to hold you accountable, to do some sanity checks on your own decisions. That's all well and good. But you don't want that to become a way of life. And this concern that you have that you're going to become some sort of monster, some sort of asshole, you're going to become some sort of failure in life if you don't have all this criticism coming in, or you don't have all this feedback coming in, you're not always constantly looking for opinions and approval of other people. This is nonsense. Actually, the best way to live a very successful life is by not looking at the opinions of others. When you look at the opinions of others, that's the most likely to make you more neurotic in your life. That's the most likely way that you're going to fail. It's because you're going to be just going around in circles, worrying all the time about what everyone's thinking about you, but not honoring your own agenda. So I already mentioned that praise and criticism are both problems for you. And this might be a point that you haven't really realized and thought deeply enough about yet. Because criticism, this is obvious, right? If you're an artist or you're a business person, you're working somewhere, you're in a relationship, it's obvious that criticism is something that is emotionally disturbing to you. You don't like criticism, right? I mean, who likes to get criticized about something? So you can see how this will sabotage you, right? If you're doing your art and someone keeps telling you that your art sucks all the time, your parents tell you your art's no good, your friends tell you your art's no good, maybe you submit your art to a gallery and the dealer tells you your art's no good. So you do all this stuff, you're getting all this negative feedback about it. And all of a sudden it's making you doubt yourself. Can I even be an artist? Can I be successful? Should I be doing this? Or maybe I should stop being an artist altogether. Right there, you're starting to basically sabotage yourself because you're listening to all this feedback that's out there. I mean, how many artists were told that they would never make it? How many artists were told that their art sucks? How many artists were told that their art is worthless and won't earn a penny, only for that art to go on later in someone's life or after they're dead to earn millions and millions and millions of dollars? So it's dangerous. It's dangerous to think and to take that criticism seriously. So this might be obvious to you. You probably know this already, that you shouldn't be taking criticism too seriously because it's gonna run you into the ground. But what about praise, you might ask yourself? You might say, Leo, what's wrong about getting praised? What's wrong with a nice compliment here or there? And I mean, technically speaking, there's nothing wrong with praise. The problem, though, for you is that you're neurotic about it. You need it. You're desperate for it. You desperately need it to prop up this beautiful, ideal self-image that you've got, which is a total fiction. But you need to prop it up, so you need the praise, you need the compliments. So maybe you're that kind of artist that puts out some work, but you're not very confident in that work until someone comes up to you and says, oh man, that's amazing. Maybe you need it to sell. Maybe you need it to sell some prints or some copies. Maybe you need it to earn X amount of dollars for you to get that validation, that praise, that positive approval that, oh yeah, this art has been accepted, it's good. Now I can go on and I can create more. Well, see, you can't rely on that because not always will you get the praise you want. And if you're neurotic about needing praise, if you're desperate for it, if you're thirsting for it all the time, then when someone doesn't give you the praise that you think you deserve, which happens so often, then what happens? You get resentful. You get bitter. You start to doubt yourself. You start to question that person too. Why didn't they give me the praise I deserved? How could they be so insensitive? How could they be so cold and so heartless? How could they be so judgmental? So this just further undermines everything you're trying to do in your life. Makes it very difficult to build your dreams out. How are you going to build out your dreams and your vision with all the work that's required when, the work and the time, that takes a while to happen. During that time, you might have a lot of naysayers. You might have a lot of people criticizing you. You might have a lot of people questioning your motives, making fun of you, ridiculing you, saying that you won't make it. Or maybe even they'll tell you that you're doing good, but they won't give you that amazing praise that you think you deserve for your work or any other part of your life. And all of that stuff is gonna drive you deeper into the ground. It's gonna get you stuck. So what's the solution?